first graph here and review the PPC, which means production possibilities curve. Remember that it's also called the PPF axis. On each axis is going to be quantity of goods. So it's a trade-off between these goods that you're producing. Here, let me move this back in. And so it's going to be quantity of good A, because you're going to have quantity of good B. And the example could be computers, as we did in class. Okay? So this represents, I'll move this back a little bit. This represents, most important part that this shows us is going to be our production level, hence the term here. Okay, it's going to be the amount a given society can produce. Okay, the curve can be outward curved, it could be just linear, it could be vertical, it could be horizontal. Okay, but we'll stick with this traditional example of increasing opportunity costs of each one. Infinity amount of points, obviously, A, B, C, and so forth. Okay, we could also have a point D or a point E on this curve, and they all tell us something a little bit different. Okay, any point on the curve, okay, on the curve is going to be efficient effectively. Okay, so using all factors of production or resources. Okay, so A, B, and C are efficient. It is going to be up to the country's demand individuals that are capable of producing for your country, but they're not. Okay, E is obtainable only through trade in the long run. Okay, a country only has what it has. It only has the resources that it has in the given country. So in order to produce out here, it must find a way to get other resources. In other words, it must find a way to get other goods where it can get more of each, so it's out here. We'll talk about that more with comparative. Also used many times to look at the difference between consumer and capital goods. Okay, so consumer goods, let's say we put that here, and remember it doesn't matter what axis it's on, the X or the Y. And if we put capital goods here, this is categorizing all the types of goods a society chooses to make and to produce. And it's still a trade-off. Your society either decides to produce capital goods or consumer goods, or some combination. But as they produce more capital goods, they have to produce less consumer goods. Okay? So remember that if a society is looking to move towards a future policy to encourage economic growth, then we would want to see a society focus its factors of production on capital goods, because that is going to allow them to produce more in the future. So for economic growth, okay, produce more capital goods. Okay. Remember that this graph shows us economic efficiency